What's good, my people? Welcome into Buckets Action Network's daily NBA betting podcast. We're in the workshop. NBA Finals Game 3. We're taking it down to Dallas, Texas. It's time to do the Texas two-step, see if the Mavericks can get back into the series. We are presented by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Go download the Action Network app. We're closing up NBA. We're closing up hockey, but tons of baseball stuff coming out. Endless content for the WNBA. Go tap in if you somehow are not already tapped in. Download the Action Network app ASAP. And I got two of my favorites with me today on the pod. JD, Joe Dellera, just hit 30,000 followers on Twitter. Go follow him if you somehow already don't. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend, J Money is money out there in the Rocky Mountains, stacking up paper. Let's get to it. You know how we get down. We give our best bets. We give the cap. We get you guys out of here. NBA Finals Game 3. Boston Celtics up 2-0. Some people say this could be a sweep. Some people say it's not over yet. Joe Dellera, give me your best bet for Game 3.
So I got two. I'm on the Mavs in the first half on the money line, and I'm going to be grabbing Kristaps Porzingis over 3.5 first quarter points. Been a wagon.
J Money is money.
I'll take the Dallas Mavs on the money line, minus 125.
I'm going to go with the Dallas Mavericks in the first quarter, minus a half point, minus 118. All right. JD, I'm going to come to you. We're all semi-correlated. We're all looking at the Mavs here in a couple different angles on top of Kristaps Porzingis. But I'm going to come to you first. The Porzingis jumps at me because I really didn't like how he pulled up. We'll see what that report comes out and how he looks, if he plays, how many minutes, all that. But talk me through both the gameplay and the prop.
Look, I mean, Porzingis has just been too good on this line, to be honest with you. It's honestly just not high enough, and they continue to keep setting it in the same spot. It's been 3.5 every game, and actually we got some plus money on this as well in Game 3. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that he did kind of pull up. He's been dealing with this injury. We're seeing if it's re-aggravated or not. Look, I wanted to get in on this because my gut is basically like, look, if he gets in there, if he plays, if I'm going to target a Porzingis prop, I want it to be early because, we've seen him get limited on the back end of these games, like where, Boston kind of pulls away. But in the first quarter, his minutes have been pretty stable. He's played like 6.5 and 7 minutes in both of the first quarters so far during the series. And he's exceeded this line in both of them. Additionally, if we cap his minutes at 7 minutes throughout the course of the first quarter over the whole season, he's 6 of 8 on this line with 8+ in 5 of 8 games. He's hit this in 81% of first quarters overall throughout the course of the season. I just think the line is too low. Boston runs too many actions for Porzingis to he's going to get his shots up. And he's taken in both these games, he's taken 5 and 3 field goal attempts in the first quarter. But in the game that he took 3 field goal attempts, it's because he got to the charity stripe 2 different times. So he was 4 for 4 from the free throw line and 2 for 2 in the other game. So he's getting plenty of looks, plenty of actions, and Boston's really, really struggled to kind of match up with him. Dallas has really struggled to match up with him. One of the things even too, they see Derek Lively's a little bit too aggressive, trying to crash the offensive glass. We're seeing Derek Lively then get matched up on a guard instead of being on Porzingis, being back in transition to defend him. And it's setting up actions, it's setting up mismatches. And that's something that's a little bit hard, even though they probably are watching it on tape. They still kind of need a little bit more offense. They need those offensive rebounds from Lively. I think that this is something that's going to be very difficult for Dallas to kind of counteract. And look, it's 4 points, it's 2 buckets. It's a 3 and a free throw. It's 2 dunks. It's 2 jumpers, whatever. Like Porzingis can get there. And honestly, like if he doesn't play, we just get a void. It's no harm, no foul.
Yeah, I think that's a great last point. That if he doesn't play, no problem. Well, how about this? If he goes, he should be able to pick up 2 buckets in the first quarter. He's been doing that all series, and he's been very impactful. If he doesn't go, you get your money back. We start looking at another play that we could put those funds towards. Jay, I think we got lulled to sleep a little bit on 2 different spots. The only thing people were talking about coming into the series was the Celtics haven't played anybody. The superstars are missing. And we forgot that if they would have played, they probably would have got strapped up anyway. That's how good Boston's defense is, right? The other point is somehow we undervalued Kristaps defensively, specifically. I'll speak for myself. I knew he was good at least the first game when he went up and started contesting shit at the rim. I'm like, well, if he's going to contest stuff at the rim, then he definitely is going to be able to get up a shot whenever he feels like it at 7'3". How do you feel about this first quarter play from JD?
Yeah, hey, Joe been cashing with these first quarter bets, especially with Porzingis going over his points. It's been cashing pretty easy, and obviously when one of those things happen, you kind of just have to keep going until the train, until the wheels fall off. You know what I'm saying? Like you still got cash in your pocket from cashing the previous game, so it's kind of one of those things that you just, if it's not broke, you don't fix it. I'd be more worried about Porzingis like for the full game, but 1st quarter, that's where his health should be at the peak, in my opinion. But yeah, I didn't like what I saw there. Obviously, with something like a calf, that's not something that gets better, especially in a running sport. Like you're running up and down the floor all game. That's not something that get better. I mean, it does help that they're getting 2 days off in between each game where you get massage, get the rub downs, all that, man. But it's still like over the course of the game, it's something that'll really affect them. So I like what Joe's doing there, just targeting the first quarter. That way, if he does end up getting injured or something like that, you're not worried about it. Hey, play that first 6-7 minutes or whatever. And after that, I'm already good, man. So I could definitely see it cashing. I'll probably ride with Joe here, put a little something on that first quarter over 3.5 points.
Yeah, like you said, 2 dunks, a little triple and a miss free throw and a made. We cash. I think he'll get some early looks. Overall, I think if you look at the entire 5-on-0 when he's out there, he's probably getting his shot the easiest. If he really wants it, he can get a shot anytime he wants. And when he catches it, especially inside 3-point line, like the elbow area, he could just get up and put it up over anybody. So hopefully Porzingis goes ahead and gets 2 buckets. We cash that easy, and then we can start looking ahead to the rest of the way. All right, JD, give me that first half money line. We'll get into the full game, and I'll talk quarter.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a ton of trends that obviously support the first half money line here. Since 2006, teams down 0-2 in the series are 91, 47, and 1 against the spread in the first half. 66%, right? Teams coming home for game 3 off a road loss by more than 5 are also 110, 64, and 6 against the spread in the first half. And that goes up to 19 and 6 in the conference finals or later. So 76%. So just based on looking at the trends, looking at some of the numbers here, I think that there's something to this, backing Dallas in really a desperation spot. They're down 0-2, got to have this game, got to come out strong. Probably going to do like go into your bag, like for Jason Kidd, look at as many counteractions, look at it as many adjustments as you can possibly have. And one of the adjustments that I think that they can do, and they started to do it at the end of the fourth quarter, but I think they wound up just getting too far down because Boston started making their threes, but they started running like a lot of double drag. They started making sure that their center was matched up on the Celtics center. They were able to get like a little bit better rotations, a little bit better matchups there. And I think that was something that they had to deviate from. They had to put Maxi Kleber back in to end the game because they needed like a little bit more offense. They needed a little bit more shooting. But I do think that if they're able to translate some of the things that got them within like shooting distance in the fourth quarter of game 2, I think that they can take that, look at that film, reapply it early in game 1. And then, maybe they make adjustments maybe Boston makes adjustments throughout the first half, but maybe a little bit at halftime. That's why I kind of like to target Dallas here early, start off hot in front of the home crowd, going to have like that huge energy boost. I think that this series has been closer than the results, even though I think that Boston really should win the series. But at the same time, I do think that Dallas should be able to pick up a game here, and I like them to kind of get off to a hot start, and keep the intensity up to start the game, first game at the house.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue that. I think we both, a lot of our cap is going to be very similar to what you just laid out, Dellera. You know what almost just came out of my mouth, fellas? I almost said this is a must win. This is a must win. I almost said
it is.
But they got to show up, dog, in this game. Like the fact that Kyrie, we know offensively, has been having a rough go of it. It's just a nerve-wracking matchup for these dudes. It's just a bad matchup, especially when Porzingis is off the floor. But yeah, me and Jay, we're talking. Me and Joe, we're talking offline about. I have a couple hedge spots I was looking to make, and he gave me one of the options was like just bet Dallas in this game because they lose. They're losing the series no matter what. It's done 3-0. It's packed up. Jay, money. Talk to me about that first half and just take it into the full game on why you're looking at the maps here.
Yeah, I like the first half as well. I mean, we know the down 0-2 spot, absolute desperation spot. Like we're all kind of on that same wave. That's why you're taking the first quarter, Sean. That's why you're on the first half, Joe. I like all three of them, in my opinion. I think the Mavs have to come out here hot. Obviously, the Celtics are a 3-point variance shooting team. If they're hitting threes, like anything can happen. They can smoke anybody in any game, even in a desperation spot. They can smoke them by 20. But we've seen them not really shoot too well in this series. Like the Mavs were in that game too. It was a 5-point game with a few seconds left. There probably should have been a foul call on PJ Washington as well. Clear, not on Washington, but on Jaylen Brown. Clear push in the back there. So could have been even a little bit closer game as well. The Mavs actually kind of missed an opportunity to possibly even steal game two over there. So it's not like both games are absolute blowouts. I do think the Mavs are a little bit, obviously they're overmatched versus the Celtics, right? But first off, if Porzingis is not going to be 100%, especially for the full game, that's going to hurt the Celtics out there. Like Al Horford, he's nowhere near the same rim protector that Porzingis. He's not like, he doesn't give you that major outside threat as far as like off the dribble as well, man. So I do feel like this is an absolute desperation spot. These are type of spots that I kind of like bet with the NBA, man. Bet with it's just what I do. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that we're going to see a sweep. If there's going to be one game that the Mavs get, I do think it's going to be this one as well. Coming back to the house, home crowd. We know role players play a lot better at the house. I'm expecting guys like Josh Green, Kleba. I'm expecting these guys to play a lot better off the bench as well. I lost on Kleber's points, over his 2.5 points in the first game. I mean, in game two, and he went 0-4. But I expect this guy to play a lot better at the house. They need his 3-point shooting out there as well. Luka has been doing what he's going to do, but Kyrie, he won't have fans heckling him in this one. So I think he'll finally have a much better game and finally get over that hump of beating the Boston Celtics. I was telling people on my show, ever since he stepped on Lucky on his eye in the middle court. I think he's 0-12 versus the Celtics since then, man. But I don't see this Mavs team getting swept. Nobody wants to see a sweep in the finals as well. I do think the Mavs get this game. Everybody's going to be on it. There's going to be a lot of money on the Mavs, but I don't care. I think they get the job done here regardless, and take it 2-1.
What'd you expect to happen, man? You rub on Lucky's noggin with the Nikes and rub his head into it.
He got injured. He had got injured after that too, bro. Yeah, not too long after that. He got injured.
You might have some bad mojo on you. You know what I'm saying? You never know. But yeah, let me come to you and ask you this, Dellera. Is there a reason why you were thinking first half rather than just full game and the Mavericks hold on throughout? I just think it's so imperative at the start. If they get off to a really good start, I think they can hold on and take it the distance. I like the first half spot as well. Does any reason you went that way and not like laying the 1 or the 1.5 with the Mavs?
The main thing was honestly that I liked what I saw in the fourth quarter from Dallas, like a couple things coaching wise, scheme wise. And I figured, if it's going to translate, it might not be able to translate for the whole game. Maybe that there are halftime adjustments from Missoula, who really has not had to blink yet. They started the only little adjustment that they did, because Boston doesn't really double, but they started to like hard hedge a little bit with Luka in the fourth quarter. And I was like, all right, if they're going to show him that kind of attention, that's when Luka started really like diming a lot. And it really started to kind of open up the rest of the offense. I figured I want to capitalize in the first half. I agree with basically everything that everybody said here. And when I was picking between all these like first quarter, full game, first half, whatever, I think they're all good plays. And I think that for me, I just wanted the first half based on some of the trends and then coupled with my cap as well.
Sean, I just want to say one thing, piggyback off what Joe said. That's when the Mavs are better. It's like Luka loves, you want to double team it? You want to hedge that screen really hard? All right. I'm really great at finding the open man. That's when the Mavs are at their best, because that's when he can swing to the shooters, PJ Washington, Kleba, whoever they're, whether it's throwing a lob to Derrick Jones Jr. That's when they're the best. You don't want, when Luka only had 1 assist, that's when they're getting smacked by 25 points. So when the Mavs actually play team basketball, that's when they look like a very balanced team. And I hope the Celtics continue to do that, because like you want if you're a Mavs backer, you want Luka to be more of a facilitator and not just have to take all of those tough contested step back shots. So I think that's why the Mavs had a lot more success in game 2.
Yeah, absolutely right. I think when you give Luka options, that's when he's the most dangerous. If he only has one option, and that's try to score 1v1 potentially later in the game, which I'm going to get to, that's when it gets a little tough. The main reason I'm going first quarter here minus a half point, minus 118, is flat out Luka Doncic is way fresher in the first quarter, and that usage rate at 34, 35, 36% just starts to weigh on him as the game goes on. Let's break down some of these numbers. In the first quarter, in these first two games of the finals. He has 20 points scored in 18 and a half minutes played, 57.1% from the field. In the fourth quarter, he has 6 points scored, 17 and a half minutes played, shooting 20% from the field. She just gets tired. He just gets worn down. Same thing happened in the second round dealing with Lou Dort against the Oklahoma City Thunder. First half in that series, he scored 88 points, 45% from three. Second half, he scored 60 points on 29% from three. To compare, SGA scored 96 points in the second half of that series. It just starts to weigh on him a little bit. They also won the first quarter in game two, and Luka scored 13 points on 5 of 7 from the floor. Similarly to what we saw when he came out versus the Minnesota Timberwolves in that game 5 clincher, he just came out and was like, yo, I'm going to put these dudes to bed and set the tone immediately. I think he said set the tone in every single post-game interview that he said. When he's on the mic after the game on the floor, he said, I was just trying to set the tone. They got him in the post-game presser. He's like, I was just trying to set the tone. I think that's exactly what he's going to do here, going back home in a must-win Game 3 situation in the finals. And they're just going to be – him specifically offensively, I think, is going to be a lot more ready to go. And if he can get any supplemental help, then they should be in good shape in the first quarter. I lean with Dellera in that the adjustments, they need some time. My biggest thing coming into the game one was Dallas has a lot more things to figure out than Boston. That's why I laid the 3.5 in the first half. How is Porzingis going to look? How are they going to guard Luka? How are they going to guard Kyrie? Dallas was going to have to figure all this stuff out on the fly, and by the time they figured all that stuff out, they were going to be hard-pressed to be down less than 4 points, right? I think now they've seen quite a few looks. They're going to be able to get back home and at least make an impact early in this game. Anything else, fellas, before we get out of here? Go ahead,
Sean.
Katie.
The Tim McMahon's just tweeted out that Luka got a pain-killing injection before game 2 to numb the area of his thoracic contusion, right? So, and he's supposed to get that same shot before game 3. So I think this actually ties into your first quarter stuff as well. It's like if Luka's going to be feeling fresh, it's going to be like right after he gets that injection, first quarter, feeling good. Maybe that's like a way to target maybe like a Luka first quarter points prop, something like that too.
Yeah. I think just combined, I've been hammering this for years. He needs to get in tip-top shape, period. Yep. If this is the game he's going to play, which it is, because he's been playing it ever since he came into the league and in EuroLeague, he is going to dominate the ball for the entire game when he's on the floor. You have to be Jimmy Butler-type shape for you not to wear down. If you go look throughout his career in the playoffs, in the first quarter versus the fourth, he just runs out of gas. He doesn't have enough in the tank to keep up. And now he's in a round of the finals he's never been in as well. You could go to everybody listening, go to Luka Doncic's Instagram and go look at Luka's body in a Slovenia jersey compared to right now. He's down like 10, 12, 13 pounds when he's playing for Slovenia in the summer. He needs to be in that type of shape right now. Overall, he's wearing down. He's not in tip-top shape. Whatever Jokic did, Jokic doesn't get tired anymore. That shit is out for him. He's running the whole game in the fourth, in the first. Doesn't matter. Luka's got to get something aligned with his nutrition, his body, to where in the fourth he could deal with that 36, 37% usage that he's going to be dealing with. All right, to recap. J Money is money. Mavs money line -1.25. Joe Dellera, Mavs first half minus right around 140. Porzingis over 3.5 points in the first quarter. Mavs, I'm on the Mavs first quarter -0.5, -118. For J Money is money. For Joe Dellera, I am your host, Sean Little. This is Buckets. We'll be back for Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Go download the Action Network app. Go download BetMGM and put some money in there if you're looking to make some plays. Until next time, we'll see you. Let's get buckets, baby.